Welcome back to Keep On Creating. I'm Mike, and today we are back in Affinity Designer creating some graphical elements. So first of all, I just want to say thanks to all the new subscribers. It's great to have you aboard. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscriber button, which is located somewhere, I think, on this side of the screen. And smash the like button. It really helps the channel out. Spread the word and get more views and stuff to the channel, which is a good thing. Helps everybody. So basically, just a follow up from last week, we started doing the special project that we're working on. That should be coming up in the next episode. If you haven't already, head across to my social platform, Instagram. I keep forgetting which one to use. Head on over to Instagram and you'll see kind of where we're going to be heading with that. I haven't posted at this moment as we speak a new design which I've been working on. I've actually been working on two, hopping in between the two, which isn't ever a good thing. Kind of try to concentrate on one thing at a time. That's unfortunately not how my mind works. It's just like so more coming up on that on probably the next episode, but if you haven't already, go ahead and check that episode out. It's on the previous episode. I will leave a link up top down below. Hopefully you'll see it somewhere. My technical abilities are getting quite good. So with all that aside, let's jump in today where we are going to be using, I'm battling to get my words together here. We are going to be using Affinity Designer to create a cool graphical element from scratch. Let's do this. So I'm going to head up here to Affinity Designer and go across to File. Click on that and click on New, and up pops this new document window. So I'm going to set this to a page width of 500, a page height of 500, and a DPI of who cares, because this is a vector document. Then I'm going to click on Create, and up pops this white mysterious page of wonder. And the first thing we're going to do is I am going to put some rulers on here. So if you haven't got your rulers going on the front, so the top's over here and the side, what are you doing? Get your rulers up. So we're going to head on up here to View and click on this Show Rulers, and this will pop up over here. Just make sure your snap to point is turned on with the little snapping thing right up there. Click on that, and let's just get a center guide going on our page. So you can see I just dragged from the side there, and it snaps rightly to the middle of the page. 250 is our mark. Okay, let's get some text going in here. So hit T to get our text tool, our artistic text tool up, which is this tool right over here. And let's just type in our CRE8. We do the create, and you can see it's quite small at the moment. So just go over this blue little nodes, click and drag them. You don't have to hold shift or anything. We're not amateurs. And we're going to triple click this, click, 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 and we're going to decide on a font. Now, the font that we're going to be choosing, I think we've used the other one quite a bit. Let's go to Drone Ranger. So up over here to our font, is a family library, I've forgotten what you call it. Anyway, to your fonts up here, and let's type in our chosen font. I'll leave a link down below if you want to go use this font. Okay, so there's a font at the moment. This is a font. If I go over here to the layers, it shows it as a font. So the first thing we're going to do is two things, in actual fact. We're going to break this to create this, and then we're going to break it a little bit more to ungroup it, and then we can start having fun. So to turn this into outlines or curves, we're going to go Command Enter, boom, and now you can see it's a group over there. It says group. We now need to ungroup that. So quick key, Command Shift G. See CRE8. Those are all individual curves now, and we can move them around to our leisure. So you can see I'm just clicking and dragging them around with my move tool. Let's just set these three letters right off to the side of the page there while we concentrate on the letter C. Let's just zoom on there. So space bar, Command, get in there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to extend the C and make it a lot wider like that. Okay, so I'm going to hit A to get our node tool up, which is this tool over here, and that is our node tool. And you'll see I'm going to just click and drag and select all those nodes there, making them all highlighted in blue. Now let's click and drag this off to the right hand side. Now hold shift when you're doing this, because if you don't hold shift, it looks blooming terrible. So hold shift to make it nice and smooth and straight. So these lines here are going to be all nice and straight. Okay, let's bring that back in the center. Now what we're going to do is just break this up some more. So let's get our pen tool up. P, okay, this is this tool over here, the pen tool, and I'm going to click, let's click over here,
And let's just close our object off by clicking, and closing it. Now you can see there's got a little 0 right there. No 0, it's got a little plus, 0, plus, 0, plus, 0. So we want to close it off, close that shape off. So now we've got this closed shape over here. So this little curve over here, I'm just going to move to the top. That is our closed shape. Right, so what we need to do is just select our move tool. I am going to make, just going to flip that around so it's a solid black at this point. And I'm going to select this shape that we just drew and select the letter C. Now how I select both of those, I just held shift and selected both of them. Let's go up to here and click on this, I think it's divide option. Yep, so click on this divide and whew, nothing seems to have happened. But if we just click off and then click back on and then delete, so you can see what I've selected. I've selected the shape we drew and I'm hit delete. Now we're just left with those pieces there. Okay, so with those two pieces selected, remember you just click one, hold shift, click the other. Let's click on this little add button over here, so click, and now this is one shape as this is over here is one shape. So we've got two shapes there. Now what I want to do is I'm going to turn off my snapping. Okay, I'm going to zoom right in here and I'm just going to offset that somewhere around about there. Now the reason why I turned off that snapping was because I didn't want it to snap to pixels or anything like that. I wanted to be able to freely move it. Now what I want you to see is if I just zoom right in here, so you see this little area right here, I'm going to go up here to add, and you can see it's totally gone. Now this is one object that we've got this step to, and that's what I'm looking for there. Right, so the next thing I would like to do is let's draw, just center this again. Let's get it right to the center. Okay, you can put your snapping tool back on and it should snap to the center. There we go, it's snapped. The next thing I want to do is draw some lightning bolts. So I'm going to hit P, and with a few simple clicks we're going to create a lightning bolt. What's up? So what we're going to do is, starting over here, I'm going to click, I'm going to hold shift and click again. Then slightly off to my right hand side, I'm going to click, come back to my left, click, right down here, click, up here, click, up there, hold shift, click, and then close off our graphic, click. Now at this point there is no fill and no stroke, so you can see over here, no fill, no stroke. I'm just going to make this a black for now, so just click on this black, and we are going to change that in every single which way possible. And when we work through this, trust me, we're going to change this. Okay, let's get our letters going here. So I'm going to get our R, I'm going to snap that to the center. I'm going to get our E, do the same, snap to the center, and I'm going to get our A8 and snap it to the center. Just shift and click all of those so they're all selected. I'm going to hold down command and shift, click and drag and make it a little bit smaller, Then just move them up a little bit so they're sitting up there. Okay. Now I'm just going to adjust that. So what I've done, I'm just going to get my node tool up, and you see how just everything turns to nodes. I'm going to select this little piece over here and I'm just going to move it to there for now. I know we're going to change this deluxe as we go along. Okay, so what I'd like to do is let's concentrate, just getting the little basic elements in here so I can kind of see what we're doing. What I'd like to do now is just concentrate on this C. Okay, so with the C selected, okay, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. Okay, then I'm going to go to my fill over here. I am basically going to take the fill away and I'm going to give it a white stroke. Now to see what I'm actually doing here with making that stroke thicker, because we're not really going to be able to see it, I'm going to go over to my layers palette and I am going to create a new layer. Okay, so just go add layer and I'm going to drop that all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to get this tool over here, my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw a big block over there, and I'm going to make this a block. Let's just make it like a dark gray, but make that the full color, the dark gray full color. Then what I'm going to do is go to this little padlock over here and click on lock. Okay, now we won't be able to select that layer, it can't get in the way, and hopefully it'll make our life a little bit easier. So now we can see our stroke. So let's go over to our stroke. Now I know I always go on about let's make everything round and everything. Well, this one, we're going to have it sharp. So to make it sharp, I'm going to click on this mitre join over here, and you can see if I just make it a little bit thicker, you can see how sharp that is to what it was. So it used to be rounded and now it's nice and sharp, and that's what we're looking for, the sharp. So what we're going to do is basically, I think everything we're almost going to do to the C, we're going to do to the lightning bolt too. It may go a little bit astray, but let's do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to bring up my layers palette. I'm going to copy my lightning bolt, paste my lightning bolt. Okay, so I've got a duplicate of those. So you can see I've got 2 lightning bolts going here. And on my top lightning bolts, I'm going to basically take away the fill and give it a white stroke. I'm just going to flip that over and make it white. And then we're going to pump up that stroke. Okay, and take the roundness off, make it a nice sharp miter join. Now, the miter, you can kind of see this edge over here. It's kind of like at a 45, and down there it's, I don't know, some other angle. Let's just pump that up. So I'm going to go 6. Okay, that ain't done it. Let's just scroll up with that. Oh, there we go. So I'm looking for that sharp angle. So I hit 9, and you can see it's giving us that huge, those nice sharp points. It's sharp. Okay, so now what I want to do is I am wanting to create like a bit of a shadow effect in here. So the best way to do this is if we basically copy this C over here. So I'm going to copy the inside. So you can see I've got this black bit selected here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to make that top one here. So this top layer I'm going to make white. So a white fill. And I'm going to offset that slightly somewhere around there. Let's just turn that snapping off and do that again. So I'm going to offset it slightly, so somewhere around about there-ish. And yeah, so I've got this spot highlighted over there. And I want a little bit of that peeking out over here. So little highlight there, little highlight there. That's what I'm kind of looking for there. Okay. Now I'm going to make a duplicate of this layer over here. So the black part of the C. I'm going to go copy and paste. So you can see I've got another duplicate of that. Then I'm going to select both this white layer and this top black layer. So those 2 layers over there. So you can see right with the ones that I'm selected. I'm not selecting this third one over here, just those 2 top ones. Now with those 2 selected, hit this minus button. And then I'm going to right now click on white. And it's giving me like this weird inner shadow effect. It looks really odd right now, but trust me, this is going to look good. Okay, so let's just do the same with this guy over here. So I'm going to select our black lightning bolt, go copy, paste. Okay, and should we do that again? Copy, paste. So with the top one selected, let's make that white. Offset that slightly to where we want it, so slightly somewhere around about there-ish. Select both of those 2 lightning bolts, minus them, and make it white. Okay, so exactly what we did with the top one, we did with this bottom section. Now, it's going to be quite interesting to see how all this works. So, with all of those selected like that, let's just add these extra little bits in here. So I'm going to add in some detail into the C, into the lightning bolt. So I'm going to actually bring up those halftones that we created a while ago. I'll leave a link again in the description. It is this one here, I think it is. Yeah, these guys here. So I'm going to copy this one or this one. I'm going to go for the top one. So I'm going to copy the top one. So Command C, close that window, and Command V. And what we need to do is just scale this all the way down. So scaling it while holding shift, keep it in proportion. You can see I'm just dragging it over my letter C, just making it somewhere around about there. Okay, that's cool. And I'm going to leave a copy down here. So I'm alt dragging it and dropping one there, and I'm going to drop one up here. So I've got another copy of it up there. I'm just going to flip this. So you could flip this around, or you could rotate it. Just quickly flipping it is much easier than me. Flip it. You don't want to flip it off. And I'm going to just drag it over to the top of my C over there. Okay, yeah. That's looking good. Right, so let's find our black part of our C, which is going to be this part here. So what we need to do, where is that C? That's over there. Okay, I'm just going to bring the C. No, I can't. I'm going to leave the C right there. I'm going to have to make a copy of that C. I'm going to have to paste it. So it's going to go all the way up to the top. But what I want to do is have my halftones basically sitting on top of that C. So here's my halftones. I'm going to make sure it's on top of that C I just placed over there. So you can see my C's at the bottom and my halftones are sitting on the top. Make sure to select both the C and the halftones at the same time, and we're going to click on this intersect button right here. And then we're going to go and make this white. Yes, yes, this looks good. Okay, so what we need to do is this inside piece that we created, where is it? This section here, this section right here. we're going to make that, I'm going to make that black. Then I'm going to paste this. Make sure our halftones sit basically just underneath that there. So you can see we've created almost this shadow effect. The punch we made over there, a halftone effect sitting underneath it, and just gives us a weird shadow effect. That just looks, man, that looks cool. Let's do the exact same with this lightning bolt down here. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a copy of this lightning bolt. So Command C, Command V. Then we're going to basically take those lightning bolts. I'm just going to move it. Can I do it? No, leave it there. Get confused between all these programs. So I'm going to basically select our halftones and our top lightning bolt. And then I'm going to click on this little, what are we doing? Intersect button here to get our halftones and make them white. Okay, that's cool. Then what we need to do is select our inner shadow section, which is that little bit there, and make that black. And then we're going to take that. Oh, we've done that. We're going to take that and we're going to sit it. Make sure our halftones are basically sitting underneath those. So it gives us that little bit of that inner shadow coming in there. Ooh, yes. Okay, cool. That looks really, really cool. Now what we need to do, I don't know if we've finished with the lightning bolt quite yet, but we need to create in the outer shape. And we could actually do it by, we'll do it this way. So what we're going to do is I've got my move tool up. I'm just going to drag a marquee over everything there. You see all my lightning bolts. I'm going to hold down Alt, click and drag and hold Shift and just drag a copy off to the side. I'm then going to flip it. Okay, so I'm going to click on this little button up here, flip horizontal, and it flips. Just bring that back in a little bit, somewhere around about there. Hatchback, I would like it to be in line with that, but I'm feeling like it's a little bit close to there. What we can actually do is make it a little bit odd. Okay, as equal as I can sort of get it there. That's cool. Right, now let's create almost like a patch effect around this. So I'm going to hit P to get my pen tool up, and let's start. I'm going to start at this corner of right over here. Let's click over there. I'm going to hold Shift, click over here. Now we're going to come and probably adjust these angles a little bit. I'm going to click straight over here. I'm going to go here, click up, come here. I'm going to make this a little bit different on the edge over there. And they're going to come all the way down to the top of our lightning bolt and close our shape off there. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, with our curve that we just done, our little shape, I'm going to click and drag that, and I'm going to move that all the way to the bottom, just above that extra layer that we got there. So just above over here. Okay, now I'm going to make a fill of black, and that looks pretty cool. Now let's select our letters, so that R, E, and 8, and let's just make them white, so they pop out. And let's just move these guys around a little bit. So I'm going to move them to the top of our letters there. And I'm going to scale them so they meet nicely over there. And obviously, let's get all these letters centered. So I'm going to click, just drag it away. Put our snapping tool back on. Make sure it snaps. Snaps there, snaps there. That's in the center, and that's in the center. Yes, yes, that looks good. So let's just, if we wanted to add some color to this, I'm just going to drag a selection of everything here. Let's just unlock this layer. Is it locked? Unlock this layer. There's the layer, so we've got to unlock that bit over there, and I'm just going to drag this off to the side over here. Hold Alt and Shift and click and drag, and just make another copy over here. Yeah, bring it a little bit closer so we can compare. The two. Zoom right in here. Let's get our color palette up. So we're going to go over here. We're in swatches, click on grays, get our colors up, and select some radical colors for this. So just selecting all these little elements now quite easily. Let's make these ones. Ooh, should we make it this color? Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, wow. Hello. I like that a bunch. I'm going to click and drag, get my move tool up, and click and drag this off to the side. And that looks cool. Alt drag another copy, zoom in here, and let's select this stroke. And in fact, just to make this really easy, I'm just going to drag a marquee over everything there. Go up to layer and convert expand stroke, and then everything is a stroke, and we can just easily select them and change colors. So these bits here, okay, all these, I'm just selecting all these white bits, and let's make it, should make it this blue color. Oh yeah. Okay, so select that other stroke out there, make it that blue. Man, Wow. Okay. I'm just going to stop right there. That looks pretty cool. Love those halftones in there. That little bit of a shadow effect. Man, look at those three there. That looks just awesome. Okay, I mean, if you wanted to change these back to white, if you wanted to, the color combinations are totally yours to choose.
And there is another design to add to our collection of design and design skills, because that's what we're learning here. We're learning different ways to create different things, and that's the most important thing to do, to create something a little bit different, to create attention. I think that's what we're doing here. Whether we change in the color from that simple black and white graphic to the color graphic they've created. Now I did go a little bit further and added some more little halftones to that border just to create even more presence to it, especially if it's a digital thing that we've created here, like a digital design or something that we can really get the clarity out of that print. Then we can add in those little details. But if this was for an embroidery or anything, no way would it be adding any halftones in, because that'll just be a mess. And that about brings us to the conclusion of this episode today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so you know when the next one's coming. Smash that like button, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out of here.